Hey everyone, I'm Thrall here at Untamed Strength Gym in Sacramento, California. This is the California's Strongest Man 2025 meet recap. If you've been following along for the past couple of months, you've seen my training leading up to this event, and I thank you for following along. So let's get right into it. First event was axle bar clean and press. This was definitely the most nerve-wracking. Not only because it's just the first event in a competition, which is usually the icebreaker event that most of us are always nervous beforehand, but I wasn't very confident in my clean and jerk abilities. So in previous competitions, in the past I should say, I always surpassed the competition weight, almost always. I don't think there's one competition I've ever done where I haven't surpassed the competition weight. So if the competition weight's 280 pounds, in training I might do 300, 310. Whatever it is. I had not done this leading up to this competition. And so I was a little bit worried. The way this competition worked out, or the way this event works out, there's a lightweight and a heavyweight. The lightweight was 260 pounds and the heavyweight was 290 pounds. You get to pick which one you want to do. The heavyweight always trumps the lightweight. So if you did 20 reps with 260 and someone does 1 rep with 290, they would automatically beat you. So you have to use some strategy in figuring out where you want to fit in. Do you want to play somewhat conservative and rep out the 260 or the lighter weight? Or do you want to go for broke and go with the heavyweight? Now, I was confident in my ability to do 260. 290 was kind of iffy because I had never done it in training recently. I actually tried it one time, but I just got pinned at the bottom of the clean. It was just a bad day. And so I was fortunate enough that I got to go towards the end of the rotation. So I knew what everyone else did. I knew kind of where I had to fit in. So my option, once it was my turn, my options were either do 290 for 3 reps or do 260 for 3 reps. Just based off what the other guys did, if I did 290 for 1 rep, it wouldn't have got me any more points than if I just did 260 for 3. So anyways, I decided to do 260 pounds. I got it for 3 reps. And when I finished this event, I said to myself, thank God I only did 260 because 290 wouldn't, who knows how I would have done. I know I wouldn't have got 3. 260 for 3 just didn't feel great. Looked pretty good on camera. It did not feel very good the whole time. And so that put me in the middle of the pack. I think there were 10 middleweights, and I finished 5th on this event. So on to the next event was the yoke walk, 700-pound yoke walk, sprint back, 220-pound bag carry, and loaded over the bar. This event, I would say, I was there was the most amount of uncertainty with the yoke. This is the one I was dreading the most, I should say. The yoke walk is just a brutal event. It's just a maximum event. It sucks the life out of you. You know, being 200 pounds, I'm carrying a 700-pound yoke. That's 3.5 times your body weight. And it's just not, I just don't really enjoy doing yoke walks. I just don't really like training for it. I was kind of nervous about it. It's a long distance. I can move the 700 pounds 10 feet, 20 feet, but it's just a matter of can you move it? It's that 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 feet that really squeezes every drop out of you. And so anyways, I ended up doing okay. I think that in my training leading up to this, I used the chain yoke the entire time, and I think that really helped. The chain yoke, the heaviest chain yoke I got up to was 570 or 80 pounds, and I did that for 100 feet. And because of the wobble and the instability of the chain yoke, it just takes almost twice as long to carry the chain yoke. So I really worked on my yoke endurance, and I think that really helped when I carried this yoke, this 700-pound regular yoke. Now, one mistake that I made was because I was using the chain yoke in training, when you're done with the chain yoke, I just set the bar on the ground because it doesn't stand upright like a normal yoke. And so when I carry the bag, I never actually loaded the bag over the bar in training. And I just carried it with this vertical position because it's easiest to carry that way, I think, for a long distance. And that kind of bit me in the butt once I got in competition because I tried to load it that way and I just got stuck. Thankfully I didn't drop it. I had to fold the top of the bag over, catch the bottom and flip it over. But this yoke, I think I got about the same placement on the yoke as I did on the axle. It was middle of the pack, about 5th place, maybe 4th place. So here I'm sitting middle of the road after 2 events, and I know I've got to make up some points on the next few events. So the next event was the keg toss. It went from 25-pound to a 45-pound keg over 15 or 16 feet. Normally we do this on the beach, but there was an environmentalist who had came by and said we can't do it on the beach because there were some nesting turtles in that area, and so they didn't want us throwing anything near their nesting area. So we had to bring that thing onto the parking lot. And the event was a little bit rushed. I'm not complaining, I'm just talking about the competition here. But the event was a little bit rushed. We had 0 time to warm up. I didn't throw one keg before that. I didn't warm up at all. I was just kind of like, middleweights, you're up, let's go. And so I didn't get to test, how far, the distance of how far I have to run back and throw it, and all this stuff. I didn't get to practice that, but neither did any of the other middleweights. So it was even playing field. And I was actually surprised that I couldn't get the final keg, because sandbag training leading up to this felt really good. I could get the 45-pound sandbag any given day without any hype, not a whole lot of focus, just go do it. I was able to do it. So I'm kind of surprised I wasn't able to do it at competition. No sweat. I ended up getting second place on this event, so that made up some points. The fourth event was the truck pull. Now the truck pull was a bit of a toss-up. I had no idea how I was going to do. I had no idea how anyone else was going to do. Typically it is a heavier man's event, so the heavier you are, the easier it's going to be to move a heavy truck. And I'm at the very, very bottom of the weight class at 200 pounds. I weighed in at 205 with a belly full of food, all my clothes on that morning. So I thought, all right, if I'm the lightest one in this group, who knows how I'll do. But I ended up getting second place on this event, so it ended up getting me a lot more points. I moved it 28 feet. First place was 29 feet. And for this event, it takes a lot of arm strength to pull yourself, to pull that forward rope. And the harness connects down at your lower back, right on your tailbone. And so when you pull with your arms, you have to actually thrust through with your hips to get the truck moving. And because the truck was so heavy and it was so slow, and from the front it barely looks like it's moving at all, I had to pretty much pull with my hips and arms and then regroup, pull with my hips and arms. So it was like I was starting the truck from a dead stop every time. And thankfully I'm in decent condition, and I was able to put maximum effort into like 55 seconds worth of this minute truck pull. Last few seconds I was pretty much done, fizzled out, and I lost my footing a couple times, but I ended up doing well. I got second place, so that added some more points onto my total. Now going into the last event was stones. I was, at this point, my shoulder felt okay. My shoulder felt fine. My biceps surprisingly felt fine even after the truck pull. I was worried that it was going to aggravate that pain in my bicep, and then I wasn't going to be able to perform stones very well, but it felt fine. So I knew I'm going to absolutely send it here on stones. Even though I didn't do a bunch of Atlas Stone training, I still have a lot of confidence in my Atlas Stone abilities. I know how to do it technique-wise. And I just told myself, if you don't overthink it, if you don't question yourself, just do the best you can. I think everything will take care of itself. And in fact, my stone load, where I bring my hips through and I extend up onto my toes and I triple extend with the stone, it's never felt stronger. And I think that's just due to all the cleaning I've been doing. My barbell clean has felt really good, and I think that's really helped with extending the stone in my explosive nature that I do that. And so my camera's about to die. Hopefully I can make this in time. So anyways, once I got to this event, it was a 300, 320, 340 Atlas Stone carry and load. And once I went, I was in second place, 1 point ahead of the guy in third place. So if he was to place one ahead of me in this event, that means we would have tied. If we were to separate even more than that, I would have been third place. So I knew I had to beat him. I had to beat him on this event. He went before me, and at this point, he did not load. He was unsuccessfully. It was an unsuccessful attempt at trying to load the third stone. So I said, "All right, Alan. I don't care how long it takes you. You just got to get this third stone. Have to." And one small mistake was I didn't put very much tacky on my arms, because usually in a competition the stones are covered in tacky. Everyone over tackies. The stone is covered in tacky. By the time I go, the stone is just covered in tacky, and too much tacky can be problematic. You can't quickly transition your hands off of the stone like you need to when you release the stone. And so I didn't put too much tacky on, not realizing that by the time I went, nobody had successfully loaded the 340-pound stone, and only one guy had actually touched it, I think. So there was no tacky on the stone. So I didn't put enough tacky on, and so you'll see on the second stone that it slips a little bit, but I catch it, and on the third stone especially, it slips out of my hands, but I was able to roll it in. I was able to make it happen. I'm gonna cut this short because my camera is about to die. It's flashing right now. I want to show you this last clip from a new angle, a different perspective. Thanks to Harold, one of the members was there. He recorded it for me. And man, I'll tell you what, this is the best feeling in the world, to get all these competitors and spectators to form this mosh pit around you. They want to see you load this stone. They haven't seen anyone else load the stone yet. Are you going to be the first one to do it? They scream and yell, they cheer. It's just the best feeling. It is the biggest adrenaline hit ever. And man, just watching this makes me smile. It makes me so proud that I was able to do this. And this is what it's all about. This is why I go compete still after all these years. It's just such a good feeling. It gives me such a boost of confidence, and it puts a smile on my face. And it really makes all of the work, all of the daily workouts, waking up early, sticking to a program, just makes it all worth it. And it makes me hungry to do it again next year. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I placed second place in the middleweight division. Thanks for watching, and always remember, trend on time.
Ready, set, go. Let's go. Let's go, Alan. Get his in. Come on, Alan.
Come on, buddy, let's go.
I think he'll finish this. Alan is a stud. He's got good technique on just about everything. Been in the game a long time now.
Let's go, Alan. Come on.
Knows what he's doing.
Come on, Alan.
See, he's got the energy after 4 other events.
Come on.
To get this stone over the bar.
Let's go, Alan. Come on. Big pop.
The stone over the bar.